What's going on, resin heads? Dave back again, and today we're going to be taking a look at the first part of the SAZABI by AnchorT. So as I've been doing with the other series, and yes, I am still continuing to do the series on the Providence, I just decided to take a break during Thanksgiving and kind of work on this a little bit. So what we've got here is the arm section. This is the master grade instruction booklet, and I've highlighted all the parts that end up getting used. As I've done with my other series, there will be a listing down below of all the master grade parts that are required. One of the reasons I've been so diligently working on things like this and trying to give you guys a detailed breakdown of what ends up being used is because their instructions just are not very clear. One of the things is it shows you the parts and it kind of points out where the parts go, but they don't show you what original parts get used, and it's very frustrating, especially on something like the Providence, on this guy, on any of the ones that end up being done. I mean, if you want to, definitely head over to Justinius Builds. He did a video today on a SD Zaku that he ended up getting from a company, and all it had was the listing of the parts, just the parts laid out. There were no instructions on how it went together, and it wasn't even a conversion kit. It was just a straight up build. I really think that these Chinese and Taiwanese makers really need to step up their game. I mean, I love that they do these parts, and I love that they do the nice, thick, heavy-duty instructions, but you guys really need to put in the effort for the instructions on how they go together. So this is one of the arms that I have pieced together right here, and man, it looks super good. Now there's not as many parts as you would think, and there's a lot of the base kit that ends up being used for this. You can pretty much build up, if you take a look at something like this, if you can pretty much build up the frame, add on the metal pieces or metallic looking pieces, and then you will be good. Once it's all built up, the movement is not hindered at all. There is a little stop right there, but I think that's because of the plastic. And I was super surprised. Once I got pieces sanded down and I got the little tabs off of there, everything slid right into the slots like it was supposed to. The only issue I have right now is I do need to trim this up a little bit. You can see that there's a little gap and this does not fit fleshly on there. But as you can see, the underside is fully on there. If I remember correctly, I'll have to pull the one off of the shelf that I have, but these were kind of finicky as it was for the transformation. But yeah, this doesn't hinder anything with that. It's really great. You can see the details are nice and crisp on there. And I haven't even really sanded this down. The only piece that I had to glue on was this piece right here. But everything else just slides into position just like the original parts, except it gives you added like this piece right here. These end up sliding on, and I'm excited to show you guys what this is going to end up looking like once I get the metal parts, the metal effect parts put on for like the thruster bells that are up underneath there and then on the shoulders. So basically this is what all the parts that you're going to trim out look like. So as you can see, this does hinder movement a little bit versus this, but I don't think you're going to have him picking his nose or doing anything like that. And technically, if you wanted to, you could take a file and do this more at an angle and give a little more clearance so that it doesn't end up hitting that piston piece. But this is all the pieces that end up being used off of the master grade. And then these are all the parts that end up being used from the resin kit. There is 4 tabs over here. I just ran a X-Acto knife through this gap to clear that out. Just clear up the edges on here. The flash is very minimal, so I'm happy with that. There was a couple little sections on the inside that I had to clear up. This piece was probably the worst one with this big old tab off of here, because you have to trim that off and then you have to pretty much make your own notch in there to resemble this side. So it was a little sketchy. And you can see on the inside of here how they ended up using putty to basically fit the pieces in, and then they just cast it that way, which I mean is fine. It fits perfect. And then again, look how crisp those details are. I have not even sanded this or run anything through those panel lines. But there you go, guys. This is the AnchorT SAZABI 2.0 arm build-up section. We're going to end up doing, I think, the feet next. I've got those all prepped up and ready to film. And then we're going to start on the legs. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure, right about here, I'm going to try and put a card to check out the holiday contest. There's only like 300 some odd views, and I want to say 80 some odd entries for the perfect grade 007 sword. Kind of disappointed about the views and how many people have entered. I'm hoping a lot more people enter. I'm kind of watching that. When we get more views and more entries, I'm going to end up adding more stuff. I have real grade decals coming. I have 5 packs of those that I end up putting up. I'm trying to get a Quan T master grade for the base kit for the Maniac Studios that they're sending for me to review. If the contest does not go well enough, I will probably keep that for myself. It's my option. I get to keep it or give it away. But I'm really hoping that this contest ends up picking up. Make sure and share it. Make sure and double check all of the contest entries, because some of them are daily to give you more chances. I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, YouTube.